wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. Welcome back on this platform, BVI Channel 1. We have Truth is Gospel. I'm Asante Peter as your host, and today's program is Biafra Discourse. I want to sincerely appreciate every one of you who have been following our trend, who have been sharing our content, who have been joining in a healthy discussion and debate on our platform. We sincerely appreciate every one of you. Our motive on this platform is to arouse discussion so that our people will have a platform where they can freely deliberate and air the opinions with issues that affects them, especially boiling around the Biafra agitation for self-determination. Our motive is not to incite anyone or to undermine anyone, but our intention is for the Biafran people to have a say in the affairs or issues that affects them. So that's why we have this live interactive section where you will be free to call through the number you see up there on the screen, +2348104545533. Look at the number right there. You can call it when we open up the lines. And please, we admonish you, we plead with you to stick to the topic under discussion and respect other people's view. We are here to bring out the best. We are here to deliberate and share opinions that will shape the cause of Biafra for the ultimate freedom of our people. Having said that, I want to also admonish every one of us out there to subscribe if you have not, share and follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube especially. Okay, so that is what we're talking about this evening. And this topic is one thing I know that many of our people don't usually like to discuss: the review on election boycott in Biafra land. This is one topical issue we have been trying to bring to the fora for our people to deliberate upon and have their say, so that at the end we'll be able to come to a reasonable position and not being sentimental or emotional. Now, you can call in as once your call comes in, I'll take it. But I don't intend for this program to last too long. I want it to be very brief. It might be within 30 minutes. So if you call on time, we'll take your call. If your call doesn't come in, we assume that the people that are watching are in agreement with what was said so far. Okay, now talking about election boycott, we ask ourselves the question, who will benefit if we boycott election? If the Biafran people in Biafran land refuse coming out to vote in their numbers for someone they believe will at least better their lives through good governance, of which we are advocating for, while we continue agitating for self-determination. We are on this platform, we believe that while we continue agitation for our freedom from Nigeria, ultimately, we must ensure we have good governance in our homeland. Because we can't wait until Biafra comes before we start having good hospitals, before our roads will be fixed, before our lives will be secured, before our farmland will be secured, following what is happening, the menace of the armed headers killing people left, right, and center. We can't wait until Biafra comes before we stop all that menace. Before our children will start having good education, we can't wait until Biafra comes. So we insist on good governance while we continue agitating for our freedom. Then how are we going to have this good governance when we have people who do not share our aspiration, people who play the Nigerian politics of impunity and bad governance, making the lives of our people miserable and ultimately frustrating the agitation for the freedom of our people. That is our major concern. And that is why we are not relenting, we remain consistent, we remain focused, sensitizing and educating our people on what they ought to know and what they ought to do. The question still remains, who benefits if we boycott election? What purpose would boycott of election serve for the ultimate freedom of our people? Don't forget, a boycott or a sit at home during the election is a protest. Let us evaluate to what extent our protest has gained or has recorded for the Biafra freedom. To a large extent, it has recorded tremendous gains and advantage. The protests of Biafra people, both on the street, the sit at home, and the rest of them. They've recorded this achievement because even international media are carrying it. But the question is, will it ultimately guarantee our freedom? Or are there better ways to do it? Like for what we are saying, there are possible environmental factors that will encourage the Biafran agitation to gain momentum and achieve ultimate goal. And that can only be guaranteed when you have a government in place that shares your aspiration, that feels your pulse, that stands with you with respect to the freedom of our people. And that can only be established through electoral process. That's why we ask, to what purpose will it serve if we boycott election and allow those who are ultimately out to decimate, to destroy, to oppress our people, those who are out to quench the agitation for the freedom of our people, who are ultimately and blatantly out, boldly out to stop the movement of our people for freedom. They will be the ones that will ultimately gain when the Biafran people refuse to come out and vote, because they use the instrumentality of government to do such. And they gain access to that government office through electoral process. They are on the minority, but yet they always have their way. That is an irony when it comes to democratic dispensation, when you have 99% of the people demanding for freedom, and you have 1% of the people who are saying no, and for their personal gratification and interest, they want to ensure the thwart, the stoppage, and abortion of the Biafra struggle for freedom. These 1% have always had their way because we have always boycotted election. Because that is the gateway through which they gain power and use same to oppress our people, and use same to frustrate our agitation for freedom. So that is the ultimate viewpoint. So now, I hope that now that we have gotten it, we'll also go further to assess what transpired yesterday. You know what I said about the video I published? That in politics, what is obtainable is that the minority may have their say, but the majority will have their way. But reverse is the case in our homeland today, where the majority have their say, why the minority have their way. That is because we don't have interest, we are not participating in political process. And it's not just business as usual as we are advocating for, it is a political revolution we are advocating for. We want our people to come out en masse. At this point today, talking about Anambra election, we don't have Biafra enthusiasts. As any candidate, the Biafra people do not have a political platform, just like other countries that we have witnessed in the past, including those organizations that have been termed terrorist organizations, like Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, like even the Taliban, the Hezbollah, name them. All of them has a political platform, offices in the Biafra struggle to rethink. We have to rethink. We have to rethink. It is high time we re-strategize. As it is, like I say, we don't have any pro-Biafra as a candidate in Anambra election, at least so far so good. We've not. But we might come out to identify a platform that at least, yet they want to govern us. Yes. Some of them are not even interested in what is facing our people, insecurity, boiling around open grazing. They associate with people who are determined to grab our land and hand it over to these violent, armed Fulani herders, as they call them. So that is exactly what we are saying, and that is what we want to bring to you. And I hope I have made the points very clear and simple, and I bet that we should all reason together. We are taking up this mantra, Anambra no be Imo. Anambra no be Imo. We are taking up this mantra as our force to rescue Anambra State, the soul of Igbo land, from the hands of cultures who want to feed on the carcass of our homeland. They have destroyed it, they want to feast on it. But we are going to rescue our homeland, revive it, resuscitate it, and bring it back to its former glory. And we can only achieve that by we coming out en masse. As Good Governance Ministry, my humble self being the Archbishop, mobilizing 1 million votes to stop these men from taking over our land. As we proceed, we will identify with the platform that will guarantee to a large extent or to some extent the plight of our people. I will enter into social contract with such person to ensure that he stick to the agreement with the people. And with that, I will wrap it up. Statement very brief, but due to instability on our network, we may likely back up. But if you have a call, you want to call in to be part of this program, then you can. But meanwhile,